Everybody, Sean Holsinger here from HolsingersFlyShop.com. Bringing you another tie-in video this week. This week it's a nymph pattern. And this is a pattern that 10 years ago you would have definitely found it in my box. It was my style of fishing. Now I tend to lean more towards a Euro nymph, thinner profile, more jig hook kind of fly, but these flies still catch fish. And I'm going to put some in my box, and I know I'll catch some fish on this year. It would be great for a caddis pattern, but it's really just a generic searching, just a attractor style nymph. And it's called the Evil Weevil. It's one I found online. I thought it looked really cool and figured I had to try some for myself. So I'm looking forward to fishing these this spring. Simple pattern, not that hard to tie. Definitely one, change the color, change the size. Tie these smaller than I'm going to tie it in a video. A lot of you guys know. Tie a little bigger in the video just for video quality, but definitely tie this smaller, change the size of it. Darker colored ones, browns and blacks, more natural colors. You don't have to use the ice dub. Have fun, experiment, see what works for you. Here you're going to see a picture of it and then the material list to tie it. Okay, here we got the Evil Weevil in the vise. Pretty simple fly. Let's get into tying it. For a hook, I'm using a Daiichi 1120. This is a size 12. You can definitely tie it smaller. Tie it bigger if you want to. For a bead, that's a Firehole tungsten bead. This is 3.0 and sterling silver. And for thread, I'm using some black Nano silk 12 watt. I'm just going to start that on there and wrap that in behind the bead. Next thing I'm going to put on is a piece of pheasant tail for tail fibers. And I'm going to use about 6 or 8 of them. I'm going to get them pulled off here. And get them all matched up at the end there. You can see how they're all the same length. And we're just going to sit this on top of the fly. And make a couple wraps here. Looser wraps so I can adjust it to get it the length I like. And that's pretty close, but if I keep it loose, you can see there I can pull them in a little bit or pull them out wherever I need just to get them adjusted and keep it on top of the hook. Now I'm going to wrap this around the bend and go a little bit past the barb there. I want a little bit of a curve to this fly. And then wrap back up towards the bead and tear the butt fibers off. Next thing we're going to put on is a piece of Brassie silver wire. And I'm just going to start this out. I like to wrap it in on the bottom. And wrap it back to that tail. And then we're going to put a piece of flash to go down over the back. For the flash, I'm using some large pearl tinsel. And I just want to get this wrapped on, and I want this to stay on the top. So I'm going to press it up against the side. Make a couple wraps there, let it roll up on top, and then roll it back towards this tail. I'm going to wrap it right back to that tail, and then we're going to put our dubbing on. For dubbing, I'm using SLF Prism. I'm going to use 2 colors. I'm going to start out with some light olive. And I'm just going to make a nice tight noodle here. Wet your fingers, get it nice and tight, or use like a stamp wetter, whatever you have, however you like to wet your dubbing, but you got to get it thin on there. I'm just going to get it right back there to that tail. Keep this nice and thin. And wrap that up there about a bead length behind. I got a little extra. So I'm going to take that off there, and then when I take it off, I'm going to tighten the rest of it up. Okay, now we're going to bring our flash over the top. I'm going to tie it off, and then we're going to lock it in place with our ribbing, with the silver wire. Use gold here. Gold's what you have. Don't worry if you don't have silver. Just making a nice rib. Oops. And then wrap it off right there with the Mylar tinsel. Now, once I got them both wrapped off, I'm going to trim off my silver wire, and I'm going to pull my Mylar tinsel back because I'm going to make this the wing case here in a second. So wrap that right back to the abdomen there, and we're going to put our thorax in. For the thorax, we're going to use some SLF Prism again. This time we're going to use Peacock to give it a two-tone look. So I want to get a nice tight noodle again. I don't want to make this too big and bulky. I want a nice taper going up here. So I want to put enough on there that I can get about 3 or 4 wraps on here. Right there where that Mylar tinsel is. Now I'm going to put in the legs on this, and I'm going to use some golden olive Goose Biots. I'm just going to use 2. I'm going to put 1 on each side here. You use brown, black, whatever you want. You can see how it has a natural arch to it. I'm going to do it so it arches away from the fly. Put the point on the side. Hold it there so the point arches out away from the fly. I'm going to wrap that in right behind that bead. And there you're going to see it's going to fold over like that. That's fine. I'm going to do 1 on the other side. So again, pinch it the same, get the points to be the same length. Pinch that in there, wrap that in there behind that bead. Oops. And then we're going to cut the butt section of that biot off on both sides. Now, the one side I need to roll up here a little bit, so I want them to come straight off the sides, as you can see there. And now I'm going to lock them in place with a little bit more of this prism dubbing in the Peacock. I want those biots to come out the middle of that Peacock section. A couple nice wraps. Do not get this too thick. Just a nice taper right up onto that bead. You can see how it transitions real nice up onto that bead. Then I'm going to pull my tinsel up over again. Make a couple of wraps. Bring 1 or 2 wraps back over it. And then whip finish. Now, what you can do, what I like to do here, once you get your whip finish and cut your thread off, I like to make this wing case a little bit darker. You see how it all blends over the same. So what I'm going to do is just take a black marker on top of the Peacock section there and just make a nice black wing case. Got a little bit on the bead, so I'm going to wipe that off. But I'm just going to, you see there, make a nice black spot. Put a little bit of Solarez Thick up there. Just enough. There we go. Just enough to lock that in, make a little hump for my wing case. Smooth that over nice. There we go. Hit it with my light and we are done. And there's the Evil Weevil fly. Nice fish catching little nymph. Okay guys, hope you like that fly. Pretty easy one. Simple materials. You don't have to go overboard on the legs with this. You know, just 1 set of biots for legs. You don't need 6 on there. Fish can't count. Pheasant tails are easy for tails. Make it a caddis pattern. Don't even use a tail. Have fun tying, guys. Experiment. Find out what works for you and have fun doing it. Any of the materials, like always, if you need some, find them at our shop at holsingersflyshop.com. We've been more than happy to help you out. If you have any questions, you would like me to tie some of these for you, you can do that by reaching out to me at holsingersflyshop@gmail.com. That address goes directly to me. So thanks for watching, guys. I really enjoy bringing these videos to you. And until next time when I bring another video, I'm Sean Holsinger.